Hey guys, it's Alicia from B2B, and this video is going to be my favorite drugstore foundations. So these are going to be the foundations that I personally am always reaching for. Just a little background on my skin. My skin is oily, and these foundations work really good with my skin. So I'm just going to jump right on into it. I don't have a lot. I only have 5, so this shouldn't take too long. The first foundation is going to be this Revlon ColorStay Whipped Foundation. So if you're not familiar with it, this is what it looks like. It comes in a glass container, and it's a very thick, not concealer, but a very thick foundation. The reason why I really like this foundation is, one, it stays on all day. I love wearing this if I'm going to be out all day, or if I'm going out at night and I plan on doing like a lot of dancing or something, and I know that my makeup has a tendency to rub off. This bad boy stays on without a problem. This is a full coverage foundation. I normally don't like full coverage foundations, well, medium to full. I normally don't like full coverage foundations, but when I do want a full coverage look, I will reach for this because it is full coverage, but it doesn't look makeup-y and cakey, which is the thing that I like to stay away from with full coverage foundations. So this is probably the most expensive drugstore foundation that I have. I think this one is like, it's over $10. So, but it's really good. So I'm just going to stay in the little Revlon family. The next foundation is the Revlon ColorStay foundation. So this is basically just this is this in a liquid form. I heard people rave about this foundation for years. I mean, since I started watching YouTube videos years ago, I always heard about this foundation. And for some reason, I never really picked it up, or never really had the urge to pick it up. So I finally did pick it up, and I see what all the hype was about. It's a really good foundation. Just like the ColorStay Whipped, it stays on all day. This one, I feel like it's more of a medium coverage foundation, versus this is a medium, or the ColorStay Whipped is a medium to full, but the medium portion of it, it's still kind of full coverage in my opinion. So if you're looking for something that stays on all day but is a little more lighter and more buildable, you know, and easier to work with, I would highly recommend picking this color up, or this foundation up. My next foundation is, okay, Revlon again. It's my Nearly Naked foundation. Once again, I like this foundation because it's very lightweight. It doesn't really stay on all day. I wouldn't suggest wearing it if you're going to be out for a long period of time, or if you're going out clubbing or something, because this will come off. But it's a nice foundation for every day. I know a lot of people were comparing it to, or doing compare and contrast with the Urban K Naked foundation. I don't have that foundation, so I can't really compare, but from this one, I really like it. It's not very sheer, but it is very light, if that makes a lot of sense. So if you're looking for like a sheer foundation, I wouldn't go with this one. But if you want something light, so you want your face covered and you want things, you know, evened out, I would pick this one up, because it does do a lot of covering and it does do a lot of evening out, but you're not going to look very makeup-y and very cakey. So, okay. My next foundation is going to be this L'Oreal Magic Nude Liquid Powder Foundation. I've used this in a lot of Get Ready With Me's and a lot of tutorials. This is probably my favorite foundation for like when I don't want to look like I have any makeup on. It's very sheer in my opinion. For me, I have a lot of blemishes on my skin. Like, let's see, I'm wearing it now, and you can see kind of the discoloration in my skin, which I don't have a problem with. I kind of like that about it, because I want it to kind of look like my skin but better, and that's what this foundation is. It is liquid. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's liquid, so I will be very careful with this. I have seen, is it cracked? Shut up, Alicia. No, it's not. I have seen people apply this with a brush. I use my fingers because that's what the directions say, and I really like how it blends out with my fingers. I like how I can kind of maneuver it with my fingers, and you know, it warms it up and it makes it a lot easier to work into the skin. You will have to shake this very, very good, or very, very well. So it is liquid, but it does dry to like a powder finish. For that reason, I don't set this with any kind of powder, just because I feel like I don't like, if I had a powder foundation, I wouldn't put powder on top, and it's okay like that to me. This isn't a long wearing foundation. It's not something you're gonna wear if you're gonna be out all day. And I kind of like wear it if I'm going in the summer months. I'm all over the place. In the summer months, I wear this if I'm going to be like inside. I wouldn't wear this if I'm going to be outdoors for a long amount of time, because it will, you know, come off. But for inside, or if you know you're just running in and out houses, let's say you're like barbecue hopping or something like that, this is a really, really good foundation. This is my favorite drugstore foundation, I would say, because it's just so, I could go on and on forever. So yeah. The last foundation that I have is another L'Oreal product, and this is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Makeup. Now, the main reason why I like this foundation is because, as far as drugstore foundation goes, this is the widest color spectrum and the widest color variety that I've ever seen in the drugstore, which is really, really good, because sometimes you go in the drugstore and you want a foundation and they have light, medium, medium dark, and dark, not realizing that there's a lot of different undertones or whatever the case may be, and so you're kind of stuck, or you have to buy more than one foundation and mix it. I don't like that. So a lot of times when people ask me, you know, what's a good foundation, I always suggest picking this foundation up first, because you'll have a wider variety and you don't have to spend a lot of money. So that's the main reason why I like this one. Another reason why I like this one is because it's just so good. This is probably my third bottle that I went through. I haven't gone through any other bottles of foundation. Like, I have so many, I don't remember. Like, I think this is the only type of foundation that I've ever used up. So this is my third bottle of foundation. It's a light to medium coverage, but it's not as sheer. So kind of like how this one is like a Your Skin But Better foundation, this one is basically just a lightweight foundation, but it's not heavy, it's not cakey. That's one thing with me, I don't like heavy or cakey foundation, so that's why I really do tend to reach for this one a lot. Also, I like it because it is really, really blendable. I usually use this with all types of brushes and I've never had a problem. Sometimes foundations are, with me, I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, I can only use certain brushes. Like, okay, a lot of times to do my foundation, I'll use a dual fiber brush, or I'll use my e.l.f. flat top brush, or I'll use this like kabuki type brush. And sometimes with different foundations, they don't blend out as well. I feel like with this one, I can use just about any brush and I'll be covered and I'll look okay and I won't be looking crazy. So that's that. So yeah, those are my favorite drugstore foundations. If you have any questions about any of the foundations that I mentioned, I kind of feel like I ran through this kind of fast. But if you do have any questions, go ahead and leave them below and I will get back to them as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I'll see you next video.